Trump's campaign had no comment at today's rally. Trump said he likes to use other people's money and would do so to build a border wall and resettle refugees. Dana, when it comes to his charity, Trump is already using other people's money.
Well, Major, the campaign isn't commenting, but it did post this statement on the Clinton Foundation just hours after the latest Washington Post story came out. The fact that she doled out nearly 200 appointments to donors to her foundation and political campaigns is more evidence of the pay-to-play culture of corruption that thrived on her watch and which would surely continue. It seems some would call that a pivot. What do you make of that?
Well, look, the Trump campaign has no defense it is offered up yet for what these documents reveal. In the documents, we have the checks from the Trump Foundation to these various charities and confirmation they were sent to settle pending lawsuits. That's all a fact pattern. That's all been established now, first by the Washington Post and independently by CBS News. That could very easily violate either federal or state laws that prevent and legally prohibit charities and the people who run them from using those donated dollars to settle claims against a business separate from that charity, a business that in Trump's cases were always for-profit entities. So there's a problem here, no question about it. What this is a classic political maneuver to deflect and bring attention to something else, potentially nefarious. But it doesn't answer the underlying facts first established by the Washington Post and confirmed by CBS News, which these are problematic donations from something that appears to be and is represented to be a charity, but is settling matters for a for-profit business. Already, the Attorney General in the state of New York is looking into this. There's already been one fine this charitable foundation under Trump's name has paid to the IRS for a contribution made to a political committee helpful to the Attorney General of Florida, a Republican. So it's not the first time this charity has gotten into trouble, and disclosures about it have raised legitimate legal questions about how it functions. What Clinton's foundation did and all those other fact patterns are debatable as well. But Trump's campaign has not addressed, even tried to address, these legitimate questions about this charity and Trump's knowledge of it and its inner workings.
So does this put any new pressure then on Donald Trump to post at least some of his tax returns?
A separate issue, and it may put pressure on Trump generally, but they're separate entities entirely. And one of the important things to know is that the charitable foundation has to release its tax records. That's how this information was confirmed. As again, by the Washington Post first, then by CBS News. So this is the kind of thing, Dana, that can happen when tax returns are made public. You can find out all sorts of interesting trails of where money went, or in the case of personal tax returns, how much money was earned, what were the charitable donations, other kinds of things. So when Donald Trump Jr., Trump's son, said last week if he were to put out his tax returns, they would create all sorts of distractions, this might have been what he was referring to. But these are different universes entirely. The foundation's tax returns have to be released publicly because they're a charitable organization governed by those laws. Personal tax returns are only governed by the history of our presidential campaigns, almost 4 decades long, of major party nominees releasing them for the public to scrutinize them.
Major Garrett with the Trump campaign. Thank you, Major.
Sure.